Hey guys, Lizardlea here for Holiday Pearls Ornament. So this is the last one. Very excited. It's this one. If it'd focus, which of course it won't, because it hates me per usual. I got the dove there. There we go. So the ornament's gonna go right here. I still haven't decided which ones I'm gonna do from the book yet, because I just haven't been looking at that. So we will see in the next video what I decide on. I'm gonna go cross stitch now.
Alrighty, so David will not be joining me again today. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. Today is Black Friday, so the day this goes up is going to be the day after Black Friday. I hope those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving had a great Thanksgiving and, wonderful meals. And those of you that don't celebrate it, I hope you enjoyed your Thursday. We didn't really do anything. I had a headache almost all day, and David was at work, and then he was home, and, we were just meh. Yeah, and then today is Black Friday, and I don't like to go out on Black Friday, because people are crazy, and especially with what's going on right now, they're probably going to be extra crazy, and I'm not here for that. I am not here for that. So I'm staying home, and I cross-stitched earlier, and now I'm doing some narration, which you're listening to right now, so I'm just going to move on to the questions. Number 43, what personality trait do you wish you had? Seeing what they think they lack says a lot about how they see themselves overall. What personality trait do you wish you had? I wish I was nicer. I wish I was... I feel like everybody wishes they were nicer, unless they're crazy. So, I guess I would... So, I don't really hold grudges. I don't know if it's necessarily because I don't like them and I don't like to feel that way, or if it's just because I have a really crappy memory, so I don't remember. But I wish either way, I still wish I was more forgiving. I wish it was easier for me to be like, yes, I accept your apology. It's okay. But I will say, especially in this day and age, a lot of people don't like to apologize. They'll, or if they apologize, they'll be like, I'm sorry, but, which of course completely erases the fact that they're apologizing. Like, no, there shouldn't be a but about it. You need to take responsibility. So, which, maybe that's something that I need to work on, is just being a better person. I don't know. I'm moving on. 44. What is the most hilarious childhood memory you can think of? Oh my goodness. Okay, what one is the funniest? Like, there are two that I always tell. One of them you kind of need the visual on, but the other one I don't think so. So, Christmas, let's see, I want to say it was before Christmas. We were at my grandma's house, and she has 2 floors. She has the first floor, and she has a basement. And in the basement is where we had the Christmas tree and, all the presents and everything. And my mom had baked a bunch of cookies for me. I guess it could have been my grandma and my mom. I'm not sure. But cookies were baked, and they had icing put on them. Some of them were shaped like Christmas trees. Some of them were shaped like stockings. The usual things. The ones you can get pretty easily, just cute little cookie cutters for. And so, of course, we put some cookies out for Santa. We put some milk out, and we went to bed. So Christmas morning, I'm pretty sure everybody's awake. Or maybe we're in the process of getting up. I don't know, but I am definitely awake, and my parents are definitely awake. I went downstairs just to check things out, and I run back upstairs, and, I find my parents, and I'm just like, Santa ate half the Christmas tree and drank all his milk. And, hearing that, if you're not thinking straight, you're gonna freak out and think something has happened to the tree. Because why would Santa eat half of the Christmas tree? That's a little weird. That's kind of kooky. And so I'm just excited. So I take my parents, we all run downstairs. So of course my parents are freaking out. I'm just excited. Because, Santa came. He had some cookies. He drank his milk. Gave us presents. And we get down there. And my parents see that the Christmas tree is totally fine. So they're kind of just like, what? And I pick up a half-eaten cookie that was one of the trees. And I'm like, he ate half the Christmas tree and he drank all the milk. And we still talk about that to this day because my parents were so worried. They were like, is there a fire downstairs? What is going on? What happened to the tree? And my mom was like, I felt so stupid. Like, we had just made those cookies. I knew we made Christmas tree cookies. And so, I don't know. Maybe it sounds stupid to someone who wasn't there, but for my family, those of us that were there, we all think it's hilarious and, great memories. Okay, so, yeah. 45. What's the meanest thing you've ever done to someone to get back at them? We've all given into revenge on some level. Get that personal story out of them. The meanest thing you've ever done to someone to get back at them. Oh man. You know what? The one that sticks out in my memory, and that I'm still incredibly ashamed of, by the way. My best friend in middle school, we were in Spain. We were neighbors, actually. We hung out, like, every day, you guys. Like, we both loved Sailor Moon. We both played with Barbies. I had Sailor Moon Barbie dolls, and it was awesome. Let's see. She moved... I was in 4th grade, and she moved to Spain when she was in 6th grade, so she was 1 year ahead of me. And we became friends. Everyone took lunch at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that's how I got to know her. And we became really good friends. I mean, actually, it may not have been lunch. Or maybe it was because we were neighbors. And then one of us approached the other at lunchtime. I don't know. Because I met her as my neighbor. I didn't meet her at school. I think it was between our parents were just like, hey, go meet the neighbor. And, let's see. I guess I should give some backstory so you can really understand how absolutely terrible I am. We were best friends until she moved, which was 2 years later, 2.5 years, something like that. And we hung out all the time. We knew each other's fears and insecurities. And yes, this is important. She had a very large chest, and she was made fun of it in her previous school. They teased her for it. And I knew that people made fun of her for it. And I was just like, that's really stupid. Like, who cares? You're a girl. Of course you're going to have boobs. And so it was close to when we found out she was moving. And she was going to be moving in like 2 days at this point, I think. And we had promised, like, every single chance we could hang out, we were going to. Up until the day she freaking moved. And so I went outside for something, and I saw her and my sister jumping on the trampoline together, and I was just like, wait, if you could be hanging out, why aren't you hanging out with me? Why are you hanging out with my sister? You guys aren't that close. This isn't fair. And I was really upset. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but, like, I said something about her having a large chest, and she said something nasty, and it was not nice. And, I mean, we made up for it. We made up a couple hours later, and I was just, I talked about how I was really upset that she was hanging out with my sister and not me, and she was like, oh, your sister said something and she wanted to hang out, and I felt bad because we are friends. Obviously, I'm closer with you, but I'm friends with her too, and she just wanted to hang out with me. And I was like, oh, you're right. I mean, we apologized immediately, and neither of us held grudges for the nasty things we said. I honestly don't remember what she said to me, like, which I think shows a lot. Like, something that really hurts you in the moment can be, really bad. But it's the nasty things that you say that stick around. And I honestly, I couldn't tell you who said the nasty thing first. It was probably me, just because I was the one who was hurt in this situation, versus she was just hanging out with her best friend's sister. Like, why would she say something mean? But, so yeah, I think that just goes to show that you need to think twice before you say something that, especially something that is going to be hurtful. So, I mean, she may not remember what I said. She might remember what she said. She might not. I don't know. But it was not nice. And I think back to that, and I'm just like, we both at this point had already moved and said goodbye to a best friend in the past. Why? Why? I was in 6th grade at this point, so I was 11 years old. I feel like that's old enough to know, like, your words can really hurt someone. So I'm so ashamed about it, you guys. Like, I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. I mean, like I said, it was that same day we made up and we both apologized and we went and hung out and played Barbies or whatever. But I am just like, I feel like that's the meanest thing I've done, because I knew of her insecurity. I knew of something that upset her, that people teased her about, and I used that against her, and it's really disgusting. I can't think of another time that I did that to one of my friends, especially because after that I felt horrible, and I realized, like, you don't say things like that to someone, especially someone who's your friend. And even if we had like the world's biggest fight and we were no longer friends, I still don't think that's the kind of thing you should use against someone. Like, I have my own insecurities. There are things that I was made fun of as a kid that I'm still kind of insecure about now, as an adult who's almost 30 years old, okay? And if someone who I had told in confidence, like, yeah, people made fun of me for this, I'm still a little insecure about it, if they had used that against me, even now, that would still be so hurtful. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I feel really bad. Like, I really hope she's forgotten about it, because if she thinks back to that and it makes her feel ashamed, for what it's worth, I don't care what size your boobs are. Like, I wasn't using that because I feel one way or the other about someone's boob size or, boob shape or whatever. I was using that against her because I was angry and insecure, and I knew it would hurt her, and that's what I wanted. God, this is a horrible episode. I'm so sorry, you guys, but you know what? If anyone takes anything away from this, please don't do that to someone, whether you like them or not. Like, if it's your worst enemy and you have learned that they're ashamed about something, don't use it against them. It's really bad, you guys. Like, I'm so ashamed. God, but I'm leaving it in there because you know what? It's honest, and I really hope someone can learn something from it. And that's what's important. Okay, 11 interesting questions to ask a girl. Let's see. I wonder how many of these could also be asked of a boy. 46. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done? Yeah, you could ask a guy that question. Interesting. If I were arrested with no explanation, what would my friends and family assume I've done? Okay, well, I don't really drink, and I don't do drugs at all. Like, I'm honestly kind of nervous about trying marijuana. I support it, by the way. I voted yes for it in Nevada to become legal, and I'm happy that it is. But I still am just like, I've had asthma my whole life, so I'm always nervous about anything that could put me in a position where I may not be fully and wholly in control of myself. So that's just a personal thing. I don't judge others for using it. It doesn't bother me. But, so it wouldn't be that. And if one of them guessed it, they're not thinking about me correctly. What would they assume I've done? I worked in retail too long to shoplift, but even prior to that, I learned my lesson at a young age, so hopefully no one would think that. I don't like confrontations, so I'm not gonna, like, start a fight out anywhere. No. I don't know, maybe getting into a car accident? But I try to be a safe driver. Like, I don't... I stop at red lights, I stop at stop signs, I look around, you know, just to be safe. Like, even when I have a green light, I still try to keep an eye on people, because I have had people fly out in front of me because they took a red light, and I don't want to get T-boned and die because someone else is a freaking idiot. But I mean, I don't know, maybe if I was in an emergency, I'd be willing to do that. But I don't know. I don't know what they would think. You know, I got angry and stabbed someone with my needles. How's that? Because I'm not going to stab someone with a knife, but maybe my cross-stitch needle. I have no idea, you guys. I'm not scared of blood, but I do not like to see other people hurt. So I don't know. I mean, okay, if someone broke into my place, I would attack them. Like, straight up, they're going down. So, maybe someone breaks in and there are laws like, yeah, you know, you don't beat the crap out of them after you get them tied up or something. I don't know. Okay, 47. I'm sorry, that was a bad answer. I apologize. I'm still a little, like, from that previous question. 47. In 40 years, what do you think you'll be most nostalgic about? Ooh. So, I'm assuming this is for, like, all time, not just, like, current. Well, that in 40 years, so I'll be 70. Almost 70, actually. What will I be most nostalgic about? Honestly, I mean, probably just, you know, a game night with my friends. Although I like to think that even when we're that old, we'll still hang out regularly and play games and watch anime and stuff. 70. When does your eyesight start to go, like, really bad to the point that most people are like, yeah, you shouldn't be driving? Because maybe driving will be something I'll be nostalgic about at that point. Especially because I have bad eyesight. My paternal grandmother, the only grandparent I have currently that's still alive, had to have cataract surgery on her eyes because it was really bad. And she's still able to drive. She doesn't like to drive after the sun goes down because, you know, the lights, it's really difficult to drive around in the dark. Which I already get. Like, I don't really like driving around in the dark very much myself. And I'm, again, a lot younger. So, yeah, I don't know. I tried. Oh, you know what? I feel stupid. Probably this. When I'm 70, I highly doubt I'll be cross-stitching this much and doing narration. Well, I mean, I would love to continue doing this. Especially because people consider cross-stitching like, you know, what grandmas do. By the time I'm 70, I'd like to have grandkids, right? I don't know, you guys. I'm not good at this. I'm sorry. 48. Would you rather go to a club, house party, or a small get-together? Excuse me. Or a small get-together of 4 or 5 friends? Oh, I am 100% small get-together with 4 or 5 friends. I think I've said this before. I prefer being able to interact, like, one-on-one with someone over having a gigantic group of people, just because I feel like it's more personable. You're able to get to know someone better. You're able to talk with them individually, rather than if you're at a club. I mean, at a club, I have horrible hearing, you guys, so I'm not going to be able to hear anything anyone says. At a house party, I'm probably going to branch off and just hang out with one person, which kind of defeats the purpose of a house party, which is talking, hanging out with everybody as a group. So, small get together. I keep yawning. Oh my gosh. Okay. 49. Are any of your friends completely opposite to you, or are most of them similar to you? You're asking what she likes in people, similarity or contrast. Oh, I forgot these were specifically aimed at girls. This is stupid. I don't know why they do this. Completely opposite, or are most of them similar? I'd say most of them are similar. I tend to like hanging out with nerdy people. Like someone who is, popular in high school, popular now, not really my type of personality that I'm drawn to. I prefer someone that I can be my dorky self with and they're not going to judge me. And I feel like the quote-unquote popular people are very judgmental usually. They're very much tied to trends and specific kinds of clothing and specific ways of speaking and specific interests, and I'm not big on that. So yeah, I think I'd have to go with more similar. I could be wrong, I don't know. 50. Using one word, how would you describe your family? Ooh. Strong. I'd have to go with strong. So, that was a similar question to what I would ask when I was doing interviews. I was like, describe yourself in 5 words. And if they gave me a whole sentence, like, I would say I'm interesting because blah, 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 and I would say that I'm intelligent because blah, 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 I was always like, doesn't follow directions. Because if I asked you to use 5 words to describe yourself, you should just use 5 words to describe yourself. If I want you to elaborate, I will ask you to elaborate. So, I'm going to stick it with that. I'm just strong. That's how I would describe my family. 51. What 3 famous people, living or dead, would you want at your fantasy dinner party? I hate these questions, you guys. I don't know. Honestly, I would rather have family and friends, whether they're currently alive or not, at my dinner party than someone who's famous. So, no, I'm done with these questions. I don't care anymore. 52. If you could shop for free at one store, which one would you choose? Ooh, Joann's. I know. I'm a blasphemer, you guys. You thought I would choose Michael's, didn't you? Only issue with that is that Michael's cross-stitch selection has gotten so tiny, it's embarrassing. Like, no. Versus Joann's still has, like, almost an entire aisle of cross-stitching things. So I could just go in there, get everything from the cross-stitching aisle. Literally, even if I don't need it, if I could shop for free there, I would have just every single cart full of cross-stitching things. I'd get a bunch of fabric that I think is really cute that I might use one day. And let's see, yarn. I would get any of the yarn that I really like, or any of the yarn that my sister really likes, because she actually crochets way better than me, and way more. I might get some of the jewelry making stuff, because some of those are really pretty, and I might actually just be able to, like, stitch them into some cross-stitching stuff. I don't really wear a lot of jewelry, but I could put it into my cross-stitches. Scrapbooking. I like scrapbooking. I haven't done it in a very long time, but I would totally go through that section, because if something jumped out at me, I would want it, and it's free, so why wouldn't I? Oh, I could get some frames, too. And a bunch of different... Like, literally, I would probably just take the entire store, you guys. But if I could only do, like, one area of things, it'd be the cross-stitching section. Walmart actually used to have a pretty good selection of cross-stitching materials, but now it's kind of just more generic stitchery stuff, not specific cross-stitching or crochet or whatnot. So, yeah, Joann's. 100% Joann's. Oh, this is... Okay. Get the inside scoop on where to buy her gifts. yeah, that is actually a good way to get an answer to that. Although I will say, thinking back now, I kind of want to change my answer because there is a mall by UNLV that has a dragon store inside of it. Okay, it's not specifically a dragon store. That's what my family and friends call it because I buy dragons there. It's just statues and things like that. And I have been to that store several times, and there are always dragons there. And they also have, like there's cats and dogs and dolphins and mermaids and fairies. It's just a wide range of statues, but obviously I am drawn to the dragons because I freaking love dragons. Like, when you get to my outro, look to my left and you will see all of the different dragons and fairies that I have on display regularly. And there are more than just those. So that would probably be better. A better use of my money, at least, because, a single dragon, a really nice one, could cost, upwards of $70 to over $100 versus all the cross-stitching things. I can use coupons. I don't know, you guys. Like, my gut said Joann's, but now my heart is saying the dragons. I have so many cross-stitching materials, but I always need more. So, I don't know. Either of those will work. I would be fine with either one. 53. What movie can you watch over and over again? Oh, Clue. 110% Clue. What else? Howl's Moving Castle. That's my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Absolutely. Spirited Away is also really great, even rewatching it over and over. Never Been Kissed and Ever After. Both Drew Barrymore movies. Wonderful. Yeah. I know it said movie instead of movies, but I feel like I always mention Clue, and I need to say other movies, because I like other movies. It's just Clue's number one, that's all. Oh, God, I can't stop yawning. 54. Which pet made the most impact in your life? Oh, man. I feel like everyone should know. Unless you're new to my channel, it's Contessa Pearl. She was put down, God, last year? Year before? I don't even... Time, you guys. 2020 is brutal on all of us. She definitely had the most impact on me. We got her when I was in 7th grade. And so that was in Vegas. We moved to Japan. And when I graduated high school, her and Ruby, the other cat I used to have, we all came back to Vegas so I could go to college. And at that point, that's when Contessa became my cat. Prior to that, she was my mom's, because I was focusing on school and my friends, because, that's what high school's about. And I've always been allergic. And I was not able to get Claritin as easily, so I was kind of just like, I don't want the cats in my room, even though I love them. Like, I want to pet them, and then I want them to leave me alone. And then when we moved to Vegas, it got to the point where it was just like, Contessa was always sleeping in my room. She was always with me. And Ruby would sometimes hang out with me and sleep in my room, but she was usually with my sister. Ruby was totally my sister's cat. And, sorry. This is not a good video for me, you guys. I don't like this. She meant so much to me. Whenever I was having a bad day, like, even if I wasn't crying, if I was just having a bad day, she could sense it, and she would come over, she'd sit on my lap, she'd lay by me, she'd purr. And then when I was upset, and I would, like, when I was really upset and I was crying, she'd come over, she'd lick my face, she'd force herself into my lap, or, onto me in some kind of way, and would make me pet her, and that always made me feel better. And when, I'd go to sleep, she would lay on top of my pillow and wrap around the top of my head. And you guys, that is just the best way to fall asleep, is having a cat purr on the top of your head. Like, sorry, I don't know if I was clear. She didn't lay on my head. she laid above my head on the pillow. So, like, I wouldn't wake up with an allergic reaction on my forehead. I'd just have fur in my hair, and that would wash out with the shower, so it was fine. She was a wonderful cat. And if any of you guys watch my older videos, you will see plenty of her, because she was very involved with my life and my cross-stitching. She always liked when I cross-stitched, because she would get to play with some string, and she loved it. And she was very vocal. She was a very, very loud kitty, which I loved about her. Yeah, she really took care of me. Gosh, I hate this episode. This is not cool. I'm bearing my heart to you guys. I'm so sorry. 55. When have you felt your biggest adrenaline rush? Extreme sports, video games, or scary movies? What really gets her blood pumping? Biggest adrenaline rush. I don't know. Like, I've done a bunch of zip lines, which are super duper fun. But, you know, a little scary, because it's like you're really high up. If there's, you know, if something crazy happens, you could totally die. But would that be my biggest adrenaline rush? Probably. I feel like a horror movie doesn't really count that much of it as an adrenaline rush. Like, it'll scare me in the moment, but then I'll be fine. Which I guess is what happens with a zip line. Like, the thing that's the most scary to me about the zip line is when you first jump off. Once you're sliding down it, it's not really scary anymore. Unless maybe you're scared of heights. I am not. So that was not an issue for me. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry. The if you heard Kirby, that's the text tone I have for my best friend, Elizabeth. Her name is also Elizabeth. She's wonderful. And I'm actually right near the end of the video anyways. So my next video will, when I do narration on my own, it will be number 56. And that is the end of Holiday Pearls Ornament. I got 4 hours and 43 minutes of footage. And that is the last of the Holiday Pearls cross stitches. All I have left to do is add the pearls onto those two, which I've got over here. And this is all the thread that's remaining, which is a ton if you consider how many my mom did. Like, we are amazing at keeping our threads. Like, every single project I've ever completed, I always have a ton of thread left over. I don't know, maybe I pull them too tight? I don't know. I don't think I do. I like how it looks, so I'm happy. Alright, so the next time I do some cross stitches, it'll be like Christmas minis, I guess? Because that's what it says. Christmas minis. I really hope that we can't hear that on the webcam, because that toilet's really loud.
I'm sure they can.
Our toilet sings. It's really annoying. So, like,
Our oven and our microwave and our...
Yes, I made a joke very early on in this relationship that the oven, when the timer goes off, it sings. It's like a really pretty tune, but I was like, David, the oven is trying to serenade you, and this is not okay because you are mine. And it has continued, and then we got a new microwave, and it sings, and now the toilet sings, but it's not a pretty sound. It's just an ee.
When's our Disney movie?
It's horrible. What?
When do we get a Disney movie?
That would be amazing. I mean, I am willing to try and make one right now, honey. It won't be on any, like, amazing platforms, but it'll be on YouTube.
It seems like knockoff Beauty and the Beast.
And you know what? That's one of my favorite Disney movies.
I know.
I'm okay with
it.
it.
A knockoff of it.
And I've cut my hair, so I'm not tangled anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
And I did mean to say tangled, because it's not called Rapunzel, it's called Tangled. You're not a beast, though. You're incredibly handsome.
Yes.
Yes, I'm glad you agree with me, because if you disagreed with me, I would have had to beat you.
Yes, dear.
Okay, I am going to finish up. So, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.